Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get two select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney prior to and during any question. If you can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. Do you understand your rights?
When the wolf is at your door, you running's over, that's for sure. He already knows all about you. Cut you down, no matter by you. Now you better walk the line. Real life, real
Warning, this episode of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast, may contain descriptions of acts of violence or that of a sexual nature and should be for people that are 18 years or older. Heed my warning, people. I do not get the facts of these cases off of the internet or from some television show. The facts I'm retelling you were presented to me by the victims of the crimes or the perpetrators who committed the crimes against the victims. My descriptions of the crime scenes, what I saw with my own 2 eyes. If you're going to get offended, please turn this podcast off now. Thank you. Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Just been working, moving and grooving.
Good. All right, everybody. It's Woody Overton, your host of Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast, back with the queen of the queens of digital marketing, Miss Tina, continuing our human, or I shouldn't say human, the sex trafficking series, right, Miss Tina?
Yeah.
And y'all lifers, I really appreciate you sharing and making this work. While Miss Tina and I were recording last week, I had a lifer reaching out to me about how they could help, and they have the Southern Punch down there, Miss Tina, not too far from where you're at. But it's very important, and it's just I don't know what to say. I was thinking about it last night, Miss Tina. People think about human trafficking, and the first thing that pops in my mind is hauling somebody across the border, like coyotes and stuff, whether it be for
Because
work.
that's what the media wants you to believe.
Yeah, but that's not where the meat of it is, right?
No, the meat of it is young American girls that are unhappy at home, or something is going on. They're in foster care. There's huge incidents of trafficking in foster care.
Right.
Even been cases where girls in foster care, it's been proven that their foster parents have trafficked them. Number of cases like that, and you don't hear about that.
No, you don't. I had I was reading a case yesterday about a foster parent who one of the kids died, and she had other kids, and I think we were making like $400 to $1,000 a month per kid. I think it was in South Carolina, but I guess that would be. I guess if I was a sex trafficker, you could just pass the basic background test on that, and they're looking to place these kids, and then wow.
I mean, because there's a huge foster care crisis in this country right now. So there's not enough workers really to oversee them properly.
Yeah.
And so a lot of things slip through the cracks, and human trafficking is really prevalent in the foster care system.
Wow. Can you give me like an example of a case that you don't have to give names, but how it
Yeah,
happened?
I did read a case where an older couple, which the last people you would say, and it was an older Christian couple,
Mm,
and they were moving kids to Mexico. They
really?
have been in their home for a little bit of a time, like 6 months or so for the grooming process, of course,
Right.
to get them ready. And there's stories about how they kept them chained up or
Yeah.
locked in the closet and,
Yeah.
various other things that this couple did while they were waiting to get ready to traffic them. And they would take them one by one and meet somebody at the border, and they would go. Now, see, in that case, there's a lot of that going on, and there's also a lot of these uber wealthy,
What's that?
dramatically, like, uber wealthy.
Oh, Uber well.
Like, when you're talking about the Epstein case
Right,
and
right, right, right.
all of those, the Diddy case,
Mhm.
all some of those trafficking victims have never known anything but trafficking from the age of, like I was when I was
Right,
14 or 16. Somebody could have taken me to one of those Diddy parties
right.
easy, or been in the Epstein situation easy.
Yeah.
Because
Huh.
a girl, after you've had her in your care for about a year, it takes about probably a year to really thoroughly groom somebody to where they can go somewheres without their trafficker, and they're so controlled in their mind that they do exactly what they're told, even if they have a chance to get away. So it
Right.
doesn't look like trafficking because the girl clearly has a way to walk away.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I see we do a lot of stories about these kids that are found locked in closets and dog cages and all kinds of crazy shit like that. And then when they're found, they don't ever say anything about the sex part. But I would assume
Yeah,
that.
that's kinda different cases. Some
Yeah,
some cases there was a case local here that involved a young girl that was caged in the back of her house.
yeah, I don't really get that. Why would you cage them if you weren't doing something else nefarious with them?
Right, exactly.
Uh, uh, I don't know. I would just get a dog or something. I don't get it, but I would think that a lot of those cases that get reported when children get found, they don't ever advertise this. Like in law enforcement, whenever someone committed suicide, we never did a news release on it. Maybe they don't want to open that box of worms because, especially if it's a foster child or whatever, then OCS or somebody's going to catch a flat.
Then the case takes a whole different trajectory,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
so a lot of times this foster care system is already strained, so I don't know what keeps it out of the news and keeps other things out of the news,
mm,
because there's a lot of things that go on that are anyway, yeah, there's a lot of things that go undetected by the media, but are still going on. I mean, are things that even the media might get a wind of, and something else is going on that's more important,
yeah.
that gets shoved down on the bottom.
Yeah. The queens of digital marketing, and we talked about how you got started and everything. I was wondering, can you tell me how you find, I don't know if you call them clients or queens or whatever, and I'm sure it differs in every case. Well, can you give me an example of how you
You
found
know,
someone?
there's a lot of different ways. In the beginning, I was involved in advocacy, and so there's a lot of advocacy groups on Facebook and on social media where people network with one another. And so when I originally was given the scholarships, I posted on these groups and asked. I was looking for a survivor that had been um, exited for a year and was stable and could take these master classes. And so then we created an application process on our website, and when we get an application, we actually require that they do like a little essay, not about their story, but
Mhm.
about any kind of computer skills they have, or maybe if they've had a job in the past. Because some of these ladies, especially the older ones, they go in and out. They come out of sex trafficking, and because of some situation, and there's no resources for them to get well and to help heal themselves.
Right.
it's not available in their area or they don't know where to go look for it. I mean, I actually have a girl right now that I've had since we very first opened Queens. And this particular girl, I got from a friend of mine. She said, "Hey, I know this girl that was with this pimp. She got locked up in federal prison because he was caught with an underage girl." I think I talked about her the last time.
Mhm.
She didn't have access to services. She went to prison because she was in the car with the underage girl. She got a lighter sentence, so she stayed about 2 years. She got out, and there was no services or trafficking services offered to her.
Right.
But she wasn't vocal enough because she couldn't look anybody in the eye. She couldn't talk because
Should
she was traumatized.
should be down, right?
And when we got her, she would barely we had our group meeting, she would barely look anybody in the eye, and now I actually ended up hiring her for my company to listen to phone calls as a QA agent,
Wow.
and she did that for, about 8 months, 9 months, and just recently we promoted her to affiliate manager, which is basically a
All,
consulting job, which
all
means that she's talking to customers all day.
right.
She comes in our meetings and she smiles, but I had to take control of getting her some therapy because there was no resources for her.
Yeah.
She was in Atlanta. I called all over Atlanta, and there was only housing resources. So if she was ready to go in a house, she could, but she was already stable in her own place. She just needed this counseling services. So I connected her with a trauma therapist there, and after about 4 sessions, she really started brightening up,
Yeah.
and she still goes now, and she's doing very well.
That's awesome. So Survivor Thriver definitely on that one. So you said, and I didn't even think about this, like prerequisite, I guess, for you to take someone is they got to be out for a year.
Yes, we've actually refined our prerequisites now. Excuse my redneck accent in that word. So now they have to be exited for a year. They have to be in a stable environment. Like they have to have housing. They can't be homeless,
Right.
unfortunately. Hard for them to keep up with from the program. And they need to be and they need to be under case management.
Meaning case
Yeah,
manager.
meaning like so that some person from some organization is over their case and is managing, helping them find housing, helping them find counseling, helping them because it's just too hard for me to try to do that part.
Yeah, you can't go in and break the wheel all by yourself.
No,
Right.
I can't. That's why it takes collaboration from other partners. And
Right.
so we're constantly striving to get partners for different resources for our ladies.
Huh. Interesting. The and so you just get them from all over the United States like that. You said last time that you're
Yeah,
countrywide.
we're countrywide, and we get them now. Recently I attended a conference in Seattle, Washington, and I met it was called Shelter 2025, and it was a conference for housing programs all over the country. So we've made some contacts there, and some of these programs already have like a desk like a remote office environment set up, but they haven't gone any further in because they don't have a curriculum and they don't know what to do
Right.
from that point. Well, I could come in and take that setup. I don't have to spend the whole $3,200 that it costs to survive in our program. I can spend less because the computer and the desk and everything is right there. So I'm just having to cover my salaries for the teachers.
Right. The so that's really cool because that helps with your prerequisites, right? And it helps with the cost for you to help get them out. Miss Tina, tell me about when you do this traveling, you go to conferences, and I would guess there's a variety of different angles and conferences that you can go to. But when you do this, you're paying for this yourself.
Yeah, we're paying for it out of Queens. Sometimes, I travel for, a lot of times I travel for Ring Lab Media, and there's trade shows that we go to. And then the trade shows that we regularly attend, they sometimes give queens a booth too. So, and then I have women in the organization that are already there for the conference. So sometimes we'll take turns manning the booth and letting and for that angle, what I'm trying to do is to get contracts for my young ladies so that when I talked about we have Queens Calls, which is a call center for the survivors to actually be employed and not just get trained to be employed, but be employed. And those contracts would be like an insurance company that's looking for somebody to verify leads off of Facebook, or AT&T sometimes runs services like that. But it's hard to get the contracts because the contracts are going overseas to where they pay them $3 an hour.
Right.
And it costs me $15 an hour for someone on the phone.
This episode is brought to you by IQ Bar, our exclusive snack and hydration sponsor. We're so excited to announce they've teamed up with Thomas Keller, Michelin star chef of the French Laundry, on 2 special edition products, a salted caramel chip protein bar and a yuzu mango hydration mix. Y'all, the salted caramel chip bar is officially my new favorite protein bar. It tastes just as dreamy as it sounds, sweet and salty and totally addicting in the best way. This collaboration grew out of Chef Keller's daily regimen of IQ Bar products and combines IQ Bar's nutritional excellence with Keller's culinary expertise. IQ Bar's plant protein bars are packed with clean and delicious ingredients that keep you physically and mentally fit. Example, the salted caramel chip IQ Bar has 12 grams of protein and only 1 gram of sugar, plus brain-boosting nutrients like lion's mane adaptogen. The yuzu mango IQ mix is a refreshing zero-sugar hydration mix that marries bold flavor, essential electrolytes for your body, and lion's mane plus magnesium for your brain. Just mixed with water for the Michelin star taste and next-level hydration. With over 20,000 5-star reviews and counting, more people than ever are fueling their busy lifestyles with IQ Bar's brain and body boosting bars, hydration mixes, and mushroom coffees. When IQ Bar sent me the salted caramel chip IQ Bar and the yuzu mango IQ mix, I was blown away. I couldn't believe something so delicious could be good for me. I had never had yuzu before either. In case you don't know, it's a citrus fruit, a cross between a lemon, a grapefruit, and a mandarin, which pairs well with the sweet tropical essence of mango. And right now, IQ Bar is offering our special podcast listeners 20% off all IQ Bar products plus free shipping. To get your 20% off, text RLRC to 64,000. Text RLRC to 64,000. That's RLRC to 64,000. Regular message and data rates may apply. See terms for details. Hey, you know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? That's getting burned by your old wireless bill. While you're planning beach trips and barbecues and 3-day weekends, your wireless bill should be the last thing holding you back. That's why I made the switch to Mint Mobile. With plans starting at $15 a month, Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. The coverage and the speed you're used to, but way less money. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you'll be chilling literally and financially. Say bye-bye to your overpriced wireless plans, jaw-dropping monthly bills, and unexpected overages. Mint Mobile is here to rescue you. All plans come from high-speed data and unlimited talk and text delivered to the nation's largest 5G network. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all your existing contacts. I use this and you should too. And honestly, the switch to Mint Mobile was a no-brainer for me. The service is just as good as my old provider, but my bill is a fraction of what it used to be. I haven't had any dropped calls, my data speeds are solid, and knowing I'm saving money every single month, that's the real win. This year, skip breaking the sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/RLRC. That's mintmobile.com/RLRC. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months. 5 gigabyte plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for the first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees are extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Did you know your birthday doesn't tell the whole story when it comes to how old you really are? I've learned that your biological age, basically how old your cells and organs actually are, is one of the most powerful predictors of your long-term health. That's why I was so curious to try the True Age test from True Diagnostic. It's a super simple at-home test that helps you uncover your biological age and gives you insight into your risk for things like Alzheimer's, heart disease, even early mortality. I ordered it myself because I wanted a clearer picture of my health beyond just checkups. It blew my mind to learn that if your biological age is just 5 years older than your actual age, your risk of major illness can go up by 30 to 50%. That was a wake-up call. But what really motivated me was this. Up to 90% of biological aging is driven by lifestyle. That means how we eat, sleep, move, and manage stress really matters. And we can slow it down. True Diagnostic doesn't just show you your biological age. You get a full personalized report loaded with science-backed steps to actually improve your health over time. I'm genuinely excited to see my results and make some smart changes, maybe dial in my sleep, or rethink my supplements, or just build better habits overall. The whole process is easy. Just a quick finger prick at home, pop your sample into the prepaid mailer, and a few weeks later, your results are online with clear, actionable insights. If you care about protecting your health and want to find out what your real age is, head over to truediagnostic.com and use my code RLRC to get 20% off your entire order or subscription. That's truediagnostic.com and use RLRC at checkout to get 20% off. Your future self will thank you. You ever notice how the smallest changes can completely reset your mood? Like lighting a candle or cracking a window or slipping into a bed that actually feels like it belongs in a luxury retreat. We've been switching things up for the summer over here, and let me just say, refreshing your bedroom with avocado green mattress bedding is totally a game changer, y'all. You already know Avocado for the certified organic mattresses, but their bedding is next level. I'm talking soft, breathable, and sustainably made pieces that don't just look good, they feel like an upgrade for your whole life. Their organic cotton sheets, GOTS certified and insanely soft, like sleeping in a fancy hotel. And their natural linen duvet just gets better every time you wash it. Light, airy, and built to last. We sleep better when we sleep cool, and natural materials like these don't trap heat the way synthetics do. Avocado's bedding helps regulate your temperature all night long, which means no waking up sweaty, no tossing and turning, just good, deep sleep. What I really love, though, you're wrapping yourself in responsibly sourced comfort. These materials are organic, renewable, and ethically made. Better for you and better for the planet. That's what Avocado is all about. Mission-driven sustainability without sacrificing luxury. Head to avocadomattress.com today to save 10% on all bedding and 50% on clearance bedding. Avocado, dream of better.
We've been taking a lot of different angles with that, but that would be the purpose of going to that trade show, would be to find somebody that we could run a call center operation for. And then, like I said, the last conference I went to was for women that own human trafficking shelters and programs. And so the angle was to hopefully be able to get other survivors from their programs to work to be in our program as well simultaneously.
Yeah, and if you get them, each one of those set up like a media room, right? Even if you had to invest in it through the Queens of Digital Marketing, help them invest in, then like you said, you're cutting down on costs. And so y'all, this is Miss Tina's not getting rich. You heard her last time say she funded most of it herself, and the need you to just, I know a
There's
lot.
so many needs. If I don't get in front of these people, so
Mhm.
not only am I funding most of this myself, but a lot of times I'll fund my own travel, not out of the Queen's budget, because the Queen's budget is thin right now.
Right,
It takes me 2 full-time employees, and I'm not paying myself, obviously, I'm
right,
paying into the program.
right,
But it's grown because the need is there. There's a real need for these transitional services. Like I said before, there's money for boots on the ground, there's money for housing, there's money for rescue, but the money for transitioning is really far and few between. There's not a lot of grants out there for transitioning. It's getting more notice now. I mean, after the Polaris survivor study came out, and they said that 75% of the women who exit trafficking still live in poverty 2 years after exiting.
yeah, and that's just setting you up for failure, setting them up to go back to either being not groomed again or sucked back in by someone like, hey, look how you're living. I'll take
Look,
care of
if
you.
somebody needs to feed their kids and that's the
They got to
only
do it.
thing they know what to do, that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah,
And because they're a mother and that mother instinct to feed their kids is more important than anything else, and they've already been desensitized to it.
right,
And so it's easy for them it was easy for me. I mean, I'm gonna tell you, like, I was out of physical I didn't have a trafficker anymore, and I was living as a single mom, and I really hadn't worked on that trauma that I had, and so every time my checkbook would get overdrawn and I would be feeling the heat from bills, then I would end up doing it again because I needed to survive, and I
right.
had this instinct I had to take care of my daughter.
Yeah, yeah, and that's proven throughout history. Like, in the Middle East or whatever, they cut off your hand if you steal a loaf of bread, right? Well, you know what? If you've got to feed your kids, yeah, you're willing to take that chance. And so you slip right back in. And there's certainly people waiting there that want to jump on.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't take long. I actually remember a scenario in Vegas. So here I am in Vegas. I've been working for an advertising agency. I'm running a campaign. I'm making decent money. I've got my daughter there in school. We had just actually left after Hurricane Katrina,
Right,
and that's the first. I went to Vegas right after Katrina, and so here I am in Vegas, and I put an ad up back then, back page in Craigslist.
hmm.
That's back page that's currently being sued right now.
Are they?
Um,
I noticed that you can't find them in like Google search anymore.
well,
Like,
they're
but
being
you could type them in and it comes up. But it used to be Backpage. I know Craigslist banned it. The Backpage was where all the escorts and stuff were listed.
right, but they're no longer they're actually currently being sued. There's a class action lawsuit that
Well, that's good.
survivors are actually suing Backpage now.
Wow, wow, huh?
Because
That,
that's how trafficking prevailed. These guys would put ads on Backpage for the girls, and then they would scare them into submission, and they would send customers in and out all day long, and they really didn't have much choice of it.
and they move them all around. They don't just stay in the same city. They move them around constantly. But you were saying you were in Vegas,
And so I was in Vegas. I put an ad on back then it was still Craigslist when I did this. I put an ad on Craigslist, and I went to a location, and that location, there was a pimp there.
mm,
And so and he didn't come at me, like, in a violent way.
mm,
He came at me in a charming way, and that part of me that hadn't been healed and that felt overwhelmed and felt like I couldn't do this lifestyle anymore and that I couldn't pay the bills. My husband had passed away,
mm,
and I was trying to do it by myself, and I became entangled with him.
yeah,
like
Yeah.
that easy, and then I had like move somewhere to get away from him and
Yeah.
try try to do it again, and I'd go back to AA and I'd go to substance abuse counselors, and none of that was working for me
Yeah.
because I had trauma that needed to be treated, and the only thing that can treat that really well is EMDR, brain spotting, and those type of methodologies that really get into those memories and kind of subside them enough for you to be able to live a normal life.
Yeah. And you've proven this time and time again through your thrivers, right? It's not just like uh, people get into sex trafficking for the fun of it, right? And they're like
Love it.
most of them, like I'd say, like 98%, and they're like, and it's not everybody, but it's like offenders, people that offend against kids. Most of them have the trauma from being offended against when they were young. That,
Mhm.
wow. So
So it just becomes a cycle of hurt people hurting people.
yeah,
And a lot of people like I'm the first one to say, people a lot of times paint the picture of a trafficker or a client or somebody that's sex trafficking. They paint this picture of them being horrible people. But in
mm,
the end of the day, Jesus loved everybody, right?
absolutely,
And they
absolutely,
have just the men and the traffickers and the people that are involved in this on the other side are broken too.
yeah,
So then you have broken people hurting broken people.
yeah.
Right.
Vicious cycle, and then it's crazy. Did you see, like in the last couple of days in Louisiana, all the raids on the massage parlors?
I have been seeing that.
And including they had just had another one. They had one right up the road from me and Zachary, and they said they had everybody going in there from police to whatever, all hours of the night. And
I
but
just
they,
saw there's another one over there by Calandro's over on Perkins Road
mhm.
that I just saw, and it was closed when I went by there to go to the grocery store the other day.
But they done like 20 in the past week. The Attorney General's office is doing a big sweep on them and saying that the massage board, whatever, does might cite them because they get a complaint, they reopen under another name. But that's got to be strict. I mean,
Well, that's gotten a lot of publicity for the deportation thing, immigrant.
that's right. Yeah, yeah,
But that's not the angle there.
yeah.
The angle is these women are trafficked. There's
Right.
nail salons all over the city that the women that work in there are paid very low wages. They can't speak English, so they don't have any other opportunity. They bring them there specifically to work in the nail shop. And they
And
work like 16-hour days
mhm.
sometimes.
And when we talk working, they're not doing nails; they're prostitutes. And the we did an undercover sting. I did one years and years ago on it, and I remember the smell of the place when I walked in. Yeah, but they had showers and whatever. They would shower our clients and then do whatever in the back rooms. But once we got to I was outside with the mic, but when I went in, we did the arrest. But you're right. I mean, we arrested everybody was there, but it's not the people that are making the money. And yeah,
No, it's not the people that are making the money, and that's often what happens, is that trafficking victims often get locked up with no services. Now I will say that that's changing a lot now. Governor Edwards put a lot of stuff in place for human trafficking survivors where in law enforcement, there's people that are trained to handle trafficking survivors and to spot them. So hopefully when these ladies from these Chinese raids go into contact with law enforcement, someone is there to speak for them and to make sure that they're not treated as criminals, but as victims.
yeah, you hope so.
It often doesn't happen. It often, especially if there's a language barrier.
Yeah, yeah.
There's not a lot of people running around the Baton Rouge Police Department that can speak Chinese.
Yeah, or Vietnamese or whatever. And and it, I don't think there's any difference uh, between the Dixon Mafia and the ones that are running massage parlors as far as being criminal organizations.
Well,
They're making money.
that's organized crime, and there's gangs that are doing trafficking. and they're initiating girls from these marginalized communities and initiating them into trafficking, and and they rape them basically.
Yeah.
And then they're scared for their life, and so they go out and work, and there's nobody like watching them or tying them down, or they're so mentally scared of these men that they're out there prostituting themselves for the benefit of these traffickers. Because they're not really they're being trafficked. They're not really prostituting themselves. They're being trafficked.
Right. So I want everybody to understand, take the time to think about this from a different angle. Whether it's massage parlors or someone's walking the street or Backpage or whatever else. I don't know what the new, Craigslist got busted off and Backpage took off, and I don't know who'll fill the void after Backpage if this suit shuts them down, but somebody will, because it'll always be there. But it's really, I mean, it's horrible for the victims, but when you see them out there, and look, a lot of times it'd be pretty, well dressed on the higher end, or what have you, for the clientele, etc. There's something else going on. I mean, it's a crime, and they are victims, and people say it's a victimless crime, but it's not.
It's not. There are other people that are on the side, and even and yeah, there are people that want to make money that way. There are women that are not actually trafficked, and they're keeping their money themselves. But these young women, they have some trauma in their lives, or they wouldn't make a decision like that.
Yeah.
And if people would look at a hurt person as a hurt person and not judge the girl that's standing on the street corner on Plank Road, or women in massage parlors, or, these different women that are arrested for prostitution. If you look beyond that, there's some trauma.
Yeah.
They're broken inside.
If they had if it showed itself, the psychologists talking about the brokenness, the sex trafficking part, if it showed itself as a bullet hole, you would have some sympathy, and if you look at somebody and they just got stabbed and they're bleeding, you would have some sympathy, but you don't see it on these, because like you said, they're groomed, and they're put out there, and it's worked. Hey, present
You see
yourself.
the way they're acting, and there's, I mean, even in the local strip clubs, there's women
Right.
in that condition, and
Yeah.
you see them acting all like trying to flirt and cutting up, but they've been groomed. If they don't bring in a certain amount of money, then they're going to get beat, and they know that the way to get more money is to be personable. They're not going to make any money if so they're groomed to have that attitude.
Yeah. That's crazy. So let's talk about queens of digital marketing, and I want to get towards the end of each one of these episodes. We're talking about, tell me, you don't have to say names or anything.
There's a lot of things to say about queens, and number one, I never really imagined that it would be what it was today.
Yeah.
Queens started as an idea to give professional women in the digital marketing space an opportunity to network with one another, so that they wouldn't have to deal with a male-dominated arena that really left them out. And it turned into this human trafficking organization that educates survivors in the into professional careers. There's some hiccups, and there's some tough spots, like right now, like I said, we have some growing pains, and we've grown past a point that I can no longer physically support it.
Right.
We do, and so we do have a couple of fundraisers. Right now, we have something that the whole country could participate in. Is we have a silent auction that's prefacing our Cocktails for a Cause party that's going to be in Denver at the Contact.io conference. And it's a conference for people that are in telemarketing. And so we go to this conference because we sell calls to phone rooms. And so the women in the industry get together and we throw this party every year, and we have cocktails and hors d'oeuvres, and we usually have a human trafficking speaker to come in. This year, I'm actually going to be presenting. We have testimonies from our survivors, and I'm doing a presentation called Voices of Survivors. And as I go through, I'm going to talk about the program. And these women are actually on these audio files talking about how Queens has changed their lives, how having a businesswoman as a mentor to look up to and to see that even though she's a woman, she can make it. Because that's the other problem that we fight against, is that they feel like they don't have a place in business, but we show them the opportunity in business for them. And to take those same skills that you learn to please somebody, just like we were talking about, that friendly, that hustle, to take that and put that into your own good and building something for yourself and your children.
Hey, lifers, Woody Overton here, and I want to talk to y'all about something that's come up around our house more than once lately: hormones. Now, I can't speak from personal experience on this one, but I've seen it firsthand with Cindy. There were days she'd be feeling drained, overwhelmed, even a little off. We couldn't figure out why. She was eating right, taking care of herself, getting things done like always, but something just wasn't clicking. Turns out it wasn't just stress. It wasn't just being tired. She took this free 2-minute quiz from a company called Happy Mammoth, and it gave her some serious insight into what might be going on with her hormone levels. After answering just a few simple questions, she got personalized breakdown, and one of the main things it pointed out was that her body may be overloaded with estrogen. That's when we found Hormone Harmony, Happy Mammoth's plant-based herbal formula designed to support your hormone levels, stress response, and overall well-being. Since Cindy started taking Hormone Harmony, she said it's made a noticeable difference. Things like occasional bloating, low energy, and those mild mood dips, all less frequent. And it didn't take a huge lifestyle overhaul to see those changes. Just a small daily habit that fit right into her routine. Now listen, this isn't some one-size-fits-all deal. This quiz gives you personalized recommendations so you can understand what's going on in your body and what might help you feel better. Whether it's Hormone Harmony or one of their other hormone support products, you'll know exactly where to start. And here's the thing. Happy Mammoth has helped thousands of women. They have over 40,000 5-star reviews, and a bottle of Hormone Harmony sells every 24 seconds. That many folks can't be wrong. Ready to start feeling like yourself again? Head over to happymammoth.com and take their free 2-minute hormone quiz today to find the ultimate answer to your stubborn hormonal issues. And for a limited time, you can also get 15% off your entire first order with my code RLRC at checkout. That's HAPPYMAMMOTH.com and use the code RLRC for 15% off today. Did you know there's an online cannabis company that ships federally legal THC right to your door? And they found a way to combine THC with carefully selected functional ingredients to target nearly every mood and health concern you can think of. I'm talking about Mood.com's incredible line of functional gummies. And you can get 20% off your first order at Mood.com with promo code RLRC. Forget one-size-fits-all supplements that only get you high. Mood's functional gummies are optimized to kick in as little as 15 minutes and take you to the mood that you're looking for. Whether that's Mind Magic gummies for deep work and creativity, PMS support to ease cramps and balance mood swings, or their sexual euphoria gummies to help you feel ready for action and turn every touch into a full body experience. Look, y'all, you know I have trouble sleeping. I take the Sleepy Time gummy. I take a quarter of one before I go to sleep, and I sleep hard all night long. Never even move, wake up feeling fresh as a daisy. So listen, you can find gummies to just get you high pretty much anywhere these days. But Mood's functional gummies combine premium federal legal THC with targeted botanicals to help you get into that perfect mood, usually in as little as 15 minutes. And everything ships discreetly right to your door. No dispense-free lines, no awkward conversations, just better days and nights delivered to your doorstep. Best of all, not only is every Mood product backed by a 100-day satisfaction guarantee, but as I mentioned, listeners get 20% off their first order with code RLRC. So head to Mood.com, find the functional gummy that matches exactly what you're looking for, and let Mood help you discover your perfect mood. And don't forget to use promo code RLRC when you check out to save 20% on your first order. Real Life, Real Crime, the podcast is brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Fiscally responsible, financial geniuses, monetary magicians. These are the things people say about drivers who switch their car insurance to Progressive and save hundreds. Because Progressive offers discounts for paying in full, owning a home, and more. Plus, you can count on their great customer service to help you when you need it, so your dollar goes a long way. Visit Progressive.com to see if you could save on car insurance. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states or situations. If you're over 35, you're just not feeling like yourself, maybe your sleep is off, your energy's low, your mood's up and down, or your sex drive has disappeared. It's easy to blame it on stress or just getting older. But what if it's not just that? What if it's your hormones? Perimenopause and menopause can start earlier than most people realize, and they can affect nearly every part of your life. The good news is you don't have to just deal with it. That's where Effecti comes in. Effecti offers modern, personalized hormone therapy, including bioidentical estradiol and progesterone, to help bring your body back into balance. Whether you're dealing with hot flashes, mood swings, brain fog, or just feeling off, Effecti's treatments are designed to help you feel like you again. You could choose from 3 forms of estradiol: patch, gel, or tablet, and they offer progesterone tablets too. All prescribed by licensed doctors, all online, no guesswork, no hidden fees, just real relief. I've seen firsthand how powerful hormone therapy can be. My wife, Cindy, was dealing with a lot of stuff: trouble sleeping, low energy, mood swings, and honestly, she just didn't feel like herself. Once she started learning about hormones and began treatment, everything changed. She started sleeping better, her energy came back, and I could see the difference in how she felt and how she showed up every day for work. It was like getting her back. And that's why I believe in what Effecti is doing. What I really like about Effecti is how transparent they are. No hidden fees, no subscriptions, just clear pricing you can cancel anytime. And look, you're not alone in this. They've got licensed doctors, real customer support, and they guide you through every step. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation, and it's all online. No waiting rooms or pharmacy lines. They deliver personalized menopause care straight to your door. If you're struggling with sleep, mood swings, low libido, or just don't feel like yourself, it might be time to look at your hormones, and Effecti can help. Right now, you can get $50 off at Effecti.com with code RLRC at checkout. That's EFFECTY.com and use code RLRC for $50 off. Start your journey to feeling better. Right. Skill set that you already have. So tell me about the silent auction, because I love an auction.
So the silent
Is it online or
yes,
is
it
it
is
just
online. And I'm sorry, I was amiss at sending you the links. Cindy is gonna have to remind me because I get
I'll
so
get it
busy
right.
that I didn't send them. But I also sent a link for the silent auction. The auction takes place on August the 28th in Denver
Okay.
at the Cocktails for a Cause. But anybody can bid on it. We have things like Amazon gift cards and Target gift cards, Apple gift cards. It's all gift cards. Now,
Right.
there are some things that are specific to our industry, like one of the call tracking platforms, they gave away $3,000 in credits. And so that's not for everybody, but there are stuff for everybody, a bunch of gift cards. Apple, I think we're going to put a Sephora on there, and a massage and a spa finder. So there'll be Spa
Okay.
Finder, wine.com, Target, Amazon.
But and you're dealing a lot with, business people. But Real Life Real Crime can donate a commercial spot.
Oh, nice.
That's
Yeah.
so. Let's do that. We wanted to. I'll get with Cindy and we'll get the information on it. And she has all
Yeah.
the stuff, and so we'll donate a spot. And anything helps, right? And because we've done it in the past for LOPA, we do the auctions before the live events and all that. The also the I have a live coming up July the 19th in Hammond. I don't know if you'll be in town. It's the Southeastern's main theater, and if we could put something up like Lopa does a booth and something like that with people, and they're coming from all over the country. And I do a live there.
Cards. I have some cards, information cards with a QR code on it.
Yeah,
And I'll get some new ones made for the QR code for the auction. And so
right.
that people can donate through the auction. We have 2 big fundraisers a year. We have that, and we have a golf tournament in January.
And where's that?
Our golf tournament in January is going to be every year is in Miami, and I'm so sad that we're leaving Miami because it's one of my favorite places.
I like
I
Miami.
love that. Just a quick note. I love the beach in Miami
Yeah,
because it's not like Gulf Shores where you got to trudge through the sand, and it's like a short beach, and all the hotels offer room service beachside.
I love that cute. Yeah, I like the Cuban coffee. That's about this big and
Oh, I
about
do.
wow. So where's the golf tournament going to be?
We do it as part of a conference,
Mhm.
Regeneration World, and we've done it for 3. This is our 3rd year that we just did. But upcoming in January this year, we're going to do it in Las Vegas. There's a bigger trade show in February, into January, beginning of February, and we're going to be doing it at Las Vegas Country Club,
Okay.
which is right off the strip.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have those 2 fundraisers. And we do a couple of other things. At one time, I'm probably going to put this on the auction, is a weekend at the Cajun Queen. You and I talked about the Cajun
Right.
a little bit,
Right.
and that's my Airbnb. And it's over in Stevensville. It's right on the bayou by Doran's Landing. Oh, wait, let me pronounce that right. Doran's Landing, because you'll get a bunch of fish.
Right.
Oh, that's not how you say that.
Right.
But it's water. You can launch. You can actually park your boat right there and go into Lake Verret. It's beautifully decorated. I did it like girl style. So there's like a lot of high end luxury pieces inside the Airbnb, so that the women feel comfortable while their guys out there duck hunting or fishing.
Right.
And they can be in luxury and have their own little vacay.
That's awesome. And y'all, if you're not from Louisiana, I think Miss Tina and I are going to do something from there so we can do like a live and show them what the real bayou looks like.
Yes.
And
Yes.
nothing is beautiful and peaceful. And we had our home in Marpaw, which is we were on the river was in the front yard and the bayous in the back. And still go down to Chauvin to my buddy's camp. We have a little piece of property there. It's just nothing like it. So
I think it is. There's nothing like the bayous, especially. The birds, the wildlife is everywhere. You see these big old bullfrogs that are as big as my hands apart, jump up out of the water. You have herons. I have a blue heron that landed on my porch, on my deck. Yeah, it is. It's simply beautiful there. But we might even be able to film in the pontoon. If we could get Captain to get the pontoon out there, we could film from Lake Verret.
Yeah, that'd be awesome, right? And then the blue heron, it's actually my favorite bird in Louisiana, and that was my daddy's too. And the morning he died, I had his doors open in the bed where he could overlook his pond and everything, and one flew in and landed. So I think I'm going to get a tattoo of that.
Wow. I have to send you my picture of Frank. So there's this blue heron that hangs out in the area where I'm at. And anytime someone's fishing off the deck, then he kind of circles around, and sometimes he'll land, and the people in that neighborhood feed him fish.
Yeah.
So he comes around and he's become friendly.
That's awesome. So good stuff. And then let's talk about, again, y'all, we will get the links posted to everything, not only the Queens of Digital Marketing, but to the auction. And it's certain, like last week when we were on, the business owner was actually text messaging me, "Hey, I just listened to this," and he had some stuff in his life early on when also, and he said, "I want to help, blah blah blah." But the auction, how to donate to your 501c, so you can help these victims become survivor thrivers. Y'all, it takes money, and these are real people, and it's as
There's so many stories. There's so many stories, you know.
yeah,
There's
and
girls that come from out of the country that end up in, like, trafficking raids here that are stuck here.
yeah,
And so they have them. They place them in the housing programs here. They have a hard time speaking English. I have a young lady now that we hired as a graphic designer because she turned out to be a very talented graphic designer,
yeah,
and she had some horrific things happen to her in her life, and the good there was we discovered that talent, and now she works
yeah.
full time for Queens as our social media manager and
That's
graphic designer.
that's awesome, and I think it continues. The real need is it's like me doing a cold case. You got to put human faces on the victims, otherwise the people just become desensitized to it, or they're not aware. And I think we need to do that, and hopefully maybe next week. You said at the conference you're going to play some audio tapes of survivor stories, survivor thriver stories, and maybe we can get one to play at the end of the episode next
Yeah,
week.
yeah, I have to get permission from somebody. That's what's
Yeah,
holding that up.
yeah,
And
and they don't have to say their name. Yeah,
but it's you still have to.
yeah, I get it. Oh, I get it.
Media doesn't respect people's stories, so I make it a point to make sure that I respect everybody's story.
Yeah, I get it. I get it, and that's why I don't cover stories of homicides and stuff like that without talking to the victims' families, right? And so I understand that, but we need to constantly put human faces, not names. And this one is different, I guess, but it's real. It's real. It's real people. These people eat.
Eager to see their faces because
Right. Well, no, we don't need the faces. You could just tell the story and call it Jane Doe and make up a different city.
okay,
When people need to understand, and this is
these are
how
real people.
and they sleep, they eat, they go to the bathroom. They're just like you and I. They're just in a bad situation and they need help. And ultimately, this is a system, Queens of Digital Marketing, that can help them thrive again and break that cycle.
There's an expression that my daddy used to say, and I try to live by that. We're not given a hand out, we're given a hand up. We're given a hand for somebody to help themselves have a better life.
Right, and that's an amazing thing. And it's your mission, and it's awesome that you're on that mission, right? Because you are a survivor thriver, and you've lived it. Unfortunately, that you lived it, but fortunately, you did because you're saving a lot of other lives. And it's a lot. It's not y'all. It's not just being groomed and people taking advantage and pimping them and using them for money, but it's narcotics, and ultimately, it all goes back to I would assume the majority of them go back to it because they're broken and they're hurting and you can't fix it.
A lifetime of trauma after something like this
That's right.
happened.
So it's not just something whatever happened to them when they were younger. Every day they're out there being trafficked is trauma, whether you own it or not.
Trauma that they feel for the rest of their life. I
Right.
mean, Woody, even today, I get triggered by stuff.
Right.
My
Yeah.
my fiance can look at me sideways, and I won't even say anything. I think automatically that I did something wrong because of the
Right.
way he looked at me, and I feel like I need to apologize to him because he looked at me a certain way.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
it's just gonna always be ingrained in me, but today I recognize it, and
Yeah.
I know that that's trauma, and when I start having those thoughts because I've had, EMDR, I'm having those thoughts that he's mad at me because he looked at me a certain way and something's gonna happen. I can stop myself from that, and I
Yeah.
can,
Yeah.
do some kinda exercise or something that'll take me out of that triggered place.
And even though you're having to do that, it's still, thankfully you recognize, but it's still sad. right? It's something
At
that shouldn't
56
happen.
years old, and I'm still like
Yeah.
feeling those things.
And for everyone out there who has a loved one, you wouldn't want them to go through this. But the light at the end of the tunnel is the Queens of Digital Marketing 501c. Y'all, we're going to put up everything, tag it, support it. I encourage my friends that are business owners to donate to the auction. It doesn't matter what you donate. It's just cool
Well,
to
I
be.
think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put up the a weekend at the Airbnb.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that up on the auction, and so it'll be real exciting to be able to win a weekend on the bayou.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's awesome. And I tell you what, you put it up.
I'm gonna
Well,
do it today. I have time today. We're leaving Friday to go to Branson for the World Series of softball. So
there you go.
she's on the Outlaws.
There you go.
My
Sure.
little year-old granddaughter, she's playing in the World Series of softball.
Awesome. It's beautiful there too, and good luck on that, right? And so, y'all, here is an example. Grandmother now, obviously mother before, survivor of sex trafficking. Her whole life, abused, beat down, came out because of and established the Queens of Digital Marketing and is now helping other people. So we need to donate. We need to share it. Sharing equals in homicide, sharing equals tips. In this case, sharing equals awareness, and it's there. Probably if you walk in a Walmart and however many people are in there, probably at least one person is a victim of this, and you never know. You know, they're everywhere, and bringing awareness and let's help. And we never know. You're never gonna know who you help donate something, and that dollar might go towards whatever.
Right, and
You're
we
never
do
gonna.
have, although we're a nationwide company, we do have 3 girls from Louisiana in the program right now.
Awesome, man, and the well, there's the proofs in the pudding, right? So but thank you so much for it, and we'll get everything posted. And I really appreciate it. And as always, it's a pleasure talking to you. And your story's pretty fascinating. And I think you see the comments and everybody's, it's like a totally different angle of normally of what I do. And they're like, holy shit, pardon my French, but they're like, I didn't know, so, but
This is my main goal, is to really put a face on this
that's it.
and change, after that movie, The Sound of Freedom, people
Mhm.
really, the whole country really thought that that's what trafficking looked like.
Mhm.
And that what that did is it kept people's eyes on that type of trafficking
Mhm.
and also the type of trafficking that's happening every day in this country.
Right. But everywhere, every place. And so, all right. Well, love and appreciate you. Thank you so much. And thank y'all for liking and listening and sharing. Y'all share it. And do you hashtag Queens of Digital Marketing or just Queens?
Yes, Queens of Digital Marketing.
Hashtag Queens of Digital Marketing everywhere. When you make your comment about this, and y'all been doing it, just hashtag Queens of Digital Marketing and help it out, help bring awareness. And thank you, Miss Tina. Really, really, really appreciate you. All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.
You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney prior to and during any question. If you can't afford one, the court will appoint one for you. Do you understand your rights?
When the wolf is at your door, your running's over, that's for sure. He already knows all about you. Cut you down, no matter by you. Now you better
Everything from clothing to household items are getting more expensive each day. The world of fast fashion has complicated clothing production by outsourcing around the world to whoever can sew them the cheapest. And now you, the consumer, are paying the price with rising costs. American Giant is about keeping things simple and close to home. They aren't affected by tariffs because their products never leave the U.S. So when you buy from American Giant, you're taking a stand for hardworking people, local communities, and quality clothes. American Giant directly supports American manufacturers and ensures you aren't footing that tariff bill. Support American-made, tariff-free clothing with American Giant with American Giant. Get 20% off your first order when you use promo code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com. That's 20% off when you use code STAPLE20 at american-giant.com.
This is an ad by Regain Couples Therapy. Let's be honest. Loving your partner doesn't mean you always like them, and guess what? That's normal. Regain offers couples therapy that's flexible, affordable, and 100% online. Whether you're reconnecting or working through conflict, Regain is here to support you both. See why people wish they'd try couples therapy sooner. Visit regain.com/couplespod to get 10% off your first month. That's regain.com/couplespod.
Americans love using their credit cards, the most secure and hassle-free way to pay. But D.C. politicians want to change that with the Durbin-Marshall credit card bill. This bill lets corporate megastores pick how your credit card is processed, allowing them to use untested payment networks that jeopardize your data security and rewards. Corporate megastores will make more money, and you pay the price. Tell Congress to guard your card, because Americans lose when politicians choose. Learn more at guardyourcard.com.
Lowe's knows how to set off your July 4th with savings. Right now, buy one, get one free on select one-coat coverage interior paint via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get two select 2 or 2.5 quart red, white, and blue annuals for just $10. Hurry, these July 4th deals won't last long. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/9. Selection varies by location. While supplies last, excludes Alaska and Hawaii. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for more details.